So how about that Nintendo Direct? Oh man, sure Isaac's an assist trophy instead of a character, but at least he's in the game. That makes me so happy. His model looks so good. I'm so pleased with Smash. I also would have preferred Decidueye over Incineroar, but I still love Incineroar and it's so good. Oh. Wow. So good job Nintendo on getting me excited about the adventure mode. Here's to hoping you can play it in co-op. But let's talk about that epic finisher to the story reveal. A galaxy-wide blast that wipes out all but Mr. Curbs himself? But realistically speaking, who else could have survived this explosion, taking their own canon and abilities into consideration? Besides Kirby, of course. Kirby's like the most obvious one. Oh yes, Kirby, the new hero of the Nintendo universe. I mean, come on. Sakurai, you giving your little dude a bit too much power now. The bias is extreme. In case you don't know, Kirby and Kid Icarus are the two other games that Sakurai works on all the time. So, there's plenty of obvious bias involved. But thankfully, the bias isn't so strong that Kirby survived without any means of realistically doing so. I mean, Kirby is of a race that's from the universe before the current one. They had magic so powerful, they survived entropy and created a new Big Bang. The Warp Star is an ancient magic far beyond that of any other Nintendo character's capabilities itself. Also, it's called a Warp Star. It can warp in space-time. It just has to get up to speed first. But it is still funny that a 3-year-old pink blob who loves to eat and absorb souls is going to save the Nintendo universe. Just like he did in the Subspace Emissary, really, along with Mario. Plus, I mean, Kirby already fought a god-like entity that was a large white ball in Kirby's Dream Land 3, and basically also defeated yet another white ball god with angel wings and crystal shards. Now he's just fighting another white ball god with angel wings. This is literally just another Kirby game! I mean, the Japanese name for Smash Ultimate's story mode backwards is Kirby of the Stars! No really, look at the kanji. See him here? I'll try to pronounce them the best I can. Tomoshibi no Hoshi. Now reverse the kanji, not the English letters, the kanji, and it becomes Hoshi no Kabi. Kabi being Kirby. Notably, kanji work very differently than our own English letters, so Kabi is Kirby. Trust me on that. Especially considering that Hoshi no Kabi is the exact name for the very popular Japanese Kirby anime. Yeah, Kirby right back at ya, but the Japanese name of it is the same as the story mode in Super Smash Ultimate backwards. And Kirby's already fought White Ball Gods. It's a Kirby game! And if you didn't know, the singer who sang the anime intro trailer World of Light bit, in the Japanese version of course, is the same singer for the Kirby anime's intro! I mean, Kirby is the star of the show here now. Not Mr. Nintendo. No, forget Mario. Or Pikachu, who's like Mr. Nintendo too. It's Kirby's time to shine. That darn Sakurai bias. Granted, Kirby is great, so I don't mind. Plus, Kirby is the perfect tutorial character for Smash Bros. It's called Kirbyism, as dubbed by Relaxalax, another YouTuber who did an amazing video on it. I'll link it up here. But anyway, what other characters could theoretically survive such an event? Granted, most of the characters here were caught off guard, so they were relatively weak, caught by surprise. But what if they were totally ready to just go at a moment's notice? Now, there are quite a bit of fighters to go through, so I think I'm not even going to mention the ones that don't have a chance. Characters like Mario and Bowser are just kind of dead, because what would they... I mean, what's he gonna do? Jump? Though I do like to think of the idea of Bowser Jr. watching his dad get vaporized right in front of him, as well as Lucina losing her father. Again, both of them deserve that. So first up, let's cover Link. I mean, did you see that guy? Talk about a beast! The dude tanks the first shot! I mean, come on, he just blocks it! What the heck is his shield made of anyway? Okay. So his shield was built by the goddesses to be completely unbreakable and all that good stuff. But I mean, we see that beam blast through Samus's armor in milliseconds. I mean, This is some Captain America levels of comic book plot armor for his shield. So really, if he didn't miss his second parry, he could very well continue on living. Though by the time the galaxy gets enveloped, no, obviously not. But notably, I'm sure the sages or even Zelda could send him to the Sacred Realm, especially if he can get more time by blocking all of the beams that happen to come his way, possibly defending Zelda immediately behind him. In that time, Zelda sends him to the world, the Sacred Realm. That's a different dimension. I mean, obviously, like Kirby, the only way to survive something like this would be to travel to another dimension, or another universe, or someplace else in time. Which brings us to the most powerful of the Smash characters in the Smash universe, Bayonetta. And, well, we see her miss her dodge. She really should have used Witch Time. That stuff is really nice for getting away from things. Heck, she could have used all that time to get into her weird hell/purgatory realm that she visits from time to time. Then just come back later and meet up with Kirbs and tag team save the galaxy. Like a good buddy cop movie.
She's an ancient hell witch bent on destruction, and he's an 8-inch 3-year-old pink puffball with an appetite. Together, they need to take down the man who took the world from them. This winter.
So, loads of people are waiting for me to say Sonic. You darn Sonic fans. There! I said it! Sonic! If he didn't slow down to try and save Pikachu, he would have been able to outrun those beams. Also, I just love the character development here. Pikachu is like a little woodland creature, and Sonic loves saving little woodland creatures, so it's just so pure. But really, he wouldn't be able to get away from it, realistically. It's a galaxy-sized blast. What's he gonna do? Jump? Nah, he super dies. But if Sonic had his Chaos Emeralds, there's a chance he would be able to use Chaos Control, which is almost like stopping time. So he could, in theory, make it away in time, but he doesn't got those Chaos Emeralds apparently, so he's dead. Granted, again, in Sonic CD, Sonic runs so fast that he time travels. He could then time travel to the future and meet up with Kirby. Granted, that time traveling only works because of fancy science stuff that was in that game, and it is nowhere here in the middle of nowhere, bland desert land. Come to think of it, that bland desert land that we see on the cliff edge is the same bland desert land cliff edge that you see at the beginning of Smash Bros. Brawl. The lore. Other notable fighters. Captain Falcon, in his car, to be exact. I mean, the guy at one point outraces the creators of the universe. Like, all three of them. His car is pretty fast, and I'm not talking about the anime. This is from the actual story of F-Zero GX. I got a whole video about it here. But even still, the blast goes so fast at the end that there's no way you could outrace that either. Pit is great. He would never make it, but I love the attention to detail that Saki Boy put into this trailer. Palutena dying, causing Pit to lose his flight because she essentially gives him all of his powers. But of course, Sakurai would know those details. The bias. Oh, I just thought of this. I don't think we see him in the trailer at all, but Wario would have been just fine. Just covered in soot. Probably have a tiny bit of pants left. I mean, he's literally immortal. No, I'm serious. It's in the game. The Game Boy Advance, I think it's Wario Land 4, in the booklet. It says that he can't be killed. Just kind of affected by things like being squashed or stretched. So Wario could have totally made it through all that without even thinking about it. At least not vaporized, that is. But I suppose having your body captured in a trophy and then a spirit taking it over and making a copy of it, I suppose that's kind of being affected more than being killed because, you know, I mean, we're saving all the characters. It's not like they're dead or anything. Could Game & Watch just, like, turn sideways? I mean, he's literally two-dimensional. So, like, he would be untouchable to the beam as long as he was parallel to it. Until the beam turns just 1 degree. Anyway. Mewtwo? Well, at least anime Mewtwo. It's pretty strong with its ridiculous barriers. But again, he can really only teleport something like 5 miles away. There's no source on that, but it's shown that he's flying through space rather than teleporting, so it's just assumed he's got a limit on his teleportation. Plus, the blast went through Zelda and Palutena's barriers, so I'd assume while Mewtwo's barriers is significantly stronger than theirs because it's just broken in the anime, it probably still wouldn't work entirely. But maybe, if there is such a thing as a strong enough barrier, like Link's stinking shield, I'd imagine Mewtwo, the strongest psychic being of ever, would have a barrier that strong. Okay, and last up is Shulk, and this is kind of a maybe because of his godlike powers and foresight, and more importantly, that'd be relying on his Monado satellite to save him. I mean, if he really prays to the Monado gods, or whatever, he could in theory live, as, after all, the Monado works by twisting the inherent energy of the universe to its whim. But clearly the Shulk we see in Smash is mid-Xenoblade Shulk, not endgame Shulk, so he's not literally God. So no. He goes. I mean, really, what's he gonna do? Jump? Now then, I wonder, what non-Smash characters could have made it? One Punch Man maybe, because of plot armor. It's just written in that he makes it, so he does. Goku, because he's stupid. The guy from Guacamelee could just travel to the world of the dead in an instant. So could Dusk Noir. Well, any other characters you could think of possibly being able to survive such a thing? It basically comes down to having the ability to travel between dimensions and realms. No amount of speed alone can get you out of the galaxy in seconds. So let me know down below, and until next time, you keep using that noggin, speculating about all sorts of very valuable things like this.